What's up, guys? So some of you guys have been sending me a pretty funny article that I saw on Kotaku, and it had to do with roaches getting into people's game consoles. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I know, that's something I've dealt with. But then I saw some of the remarks from repairmen, I guess, that were explaining why roaches like to be in there. And you know what? People were asking me so much about this, obviously because of my repair background. I thought I'd do a quick little video on this, a quick little news wave short here for you guys, so I could talk to you about this, because this is actually pretty funny. So if you don't know, there's a lot of households that have like bug infestations, from what I can tell. And I have a couple of stories that I'll get to for you guys, but for the most part, a lot of people bring consoles in and they don't have bugs in them. It's not a thing. A lot of the times they'll come in, there's dust in there, you know, there's an occasional dead spider inside, and that's kind of where it ends. But occasionally, maybe 1 out of every 30 come in, they never say anything to you. Okay, maybe once or twice they say something to me. For the most part, they never say anything to you. Either they don't know, or they don't want to be embarrassed at checkout. And they come in, they drop the system off. We would always have them sign a waiver that said, you know, if there's bugs in here, you know, we don't have to repair this, but your deposit is ours to keep, because we have to be able to clean up or kill them if they go scattering, because they go scattering. So what happened was, a couple times, the one I really remember that sounds weird because it's not a PS4 was an Xbox One, but I do remember a couple PS4s. Now, we've had a few happen where roaches go into the PS4 and they absolutely demolish the power supply, because when you get in there, if you guys watch my video for that PS4 Pro disassembly, you'll see that power supply is in the back near the vents. That is usually where they will go. See, roaches usually go to heat, from what I can tell, because they always end up in that open power supply. The power supply is open on one side, they travel in, and they get killed in there. And it happens all the time. You open it up, there is roach poop everywhere, like all over the place. And a lot of times they will then go into that area. Now, a lot of times we open the system and they're all dead. Usually they're not alive. Now, there are a couple times where they were alive. The biggest one I remember was an Xbox One. And this was an interesting case. They said they had the Xbox One, they took it to a friend's house, they left it there for a week, they got it back, and it was making noises. Yes, it was turning itself on and off, and it was making weird scratchy noises. And they brought it in, and if you don't know, I'm very happy for you, because if you don't know, roaches have a distinct smell to them. They do not smell good. They smell very bad. And usually after a while, I could pick up on that smell when they were there at checkout. I could pretty much either smell it, or sometimes, believe it or not, I would be at the counter and I can look down and you can just see them in the system. In which case, we don't even play with that. We just give it back to them and say, we're not going to do this. We're sorry. We can see bugs are in there. We just don't want to get into this. And a lot of times they'll understand and they will leave. They might be a little embarrassed, but they'll leave. And sometimes it works out well. This time it didn't. So what happened was, we were working on this Xbox One they'd brought in, and I had a feeling. I remember I turned to Evan and I said, I think there are roaches in here. They did tell us that their friends were kind of dirty, I guess you'd say, and they were concerned that there might be bugs in there. So I told them straight up. I said, look, if there are bugs in here, we have to charge you like $30 more. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. It's going to be more work. It's going to be disgusting. We have to take it outside. That's what we did. We took it outside. We went across the street with the system during store hours, I might add. We left someone in there to watch the store. We go out back. We go across the street. We open it up, right? So on the front of the Xbox One, there is a power board that controls the power button, the eject button, through a ribbon cable. There were about 5 roaches around that one area, and that's why I was turning on and off. Believe it or not, the roaches were turning the system on and off, which is great. So we end up having to get them out of there. The best way to do that is to, I'm not even kidding, soak the system in alcohol. We would just take the entire system, we would fill an entire vat with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, 91% or 99% if you get that. Which we would sometimes be able to get 99% alcohol, which I think you order online or something. We'd get like buckets of it, like vats of it, you know, where you dump it out like it's like a big bleach Clorox thing. We would get that, we'd fill it up, and we would take the board, dunk it in there. Well, we opened the other side of the Xbox One, crack it open. There were about 30 of them huddled together right there. Fortunately, we took it outside and across the street, because they scattered. They went everywhere. and so it wasn't a big deal, because across the street it was like kind of like a mini field going on back where the dumpsters were. So they didn't get in anyone's houses or anything. They ran outside. They probably did not live long, because roaches, if you don't know, do not live very long outside of someone's house. So that was fun. We ended up having to douse the entire thing in alcohol, and at that point, it was sterile. It was clean. Now, sometimes the roach poop gets on the metal and you cannot get it off no matter what you do. That's just the way it is. That smell never seems to go away. It always smells like roaches, but we were able to clean it. It worked again. Even if poop gets on the motherboard, which it always does, it still works. It does. You can scrub it. It'll stay on there, but it's not conductive for what I can tell after it dries out. So we were able to repair it. We got it back to him sterile and everything, and we made $30 more on something that was all out of a nightmare. I will say that. So if you are thinking about being a repair person for computers, laptops especially, believe it or not, a lot of roaches are in laptops. And even desktop computers, although that's a much more open area, it's harder for them to get in there and stay in there, because usually they'll just leave. A lot of times they get stuck in the PS4 or they'll get stuck in an Xbox One and they can't get out and they end up just dying in there. Be prepared. What I would recommend you do, if you end up having a repair establishment, be ready with trash bags. What we ended up doing over time was we would either wrap the entire system in a trash bag or we would open the system into a trash bag. So we would have the trash bag open, we'd open it, and if there were any roaches in there, they would fall into the trash bag, tie the trash bag, throw it outside the dumpster. Yes, we would have to deal with that a lot. I saw this Kotaku article, people sent it to me, I thought it was funny. Yes, it is the truth. If you're repairing anyone's electronics, unfortunately there are people who exist that have infestations in their house. Sometimes they don't tell you. If you have an infestation in your house and you're taking it to get repaired, please tell the repair person that you have one, because we would have been in tremendous amounts of trouble if we got a roach infestation, because there were a lot of food places in that strip mall. And if it came back to us, we would have been in massive, massive trouble. So please tell your establishment that that's happening. It's you know what? It's embarrassing for about 5 seconds, and the person at the front counter will either send you on your way or they'll say, look, it's this much extra. That's just the way it is. Thanks, guys, for listening. This is just a little, some people were curious. I thought I'd let you guys in on some of the repair world that I've had to deal with in my life. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a little video. It's like a Newswave short or Newswave extra. Definitely check back later on today, guys, because I'm going to have a video about the Switch Mini that is being passed around the internet right now with these weird thoughts of a Switch Mini. Is it possible? Yes. I'm going to talk to you guys about how I think Nintendo can make this system, the Switch system, even smaller. So check back then, guys. I will see you next time.